Hello, this is Diana with Artfully Yours, and please visit my website blog at www.artfullyyours.net. And there's going to be 3 projects I'm doing in this video. Project 1 is Venus de Milo Mermaid in Paris Fantasy Sculpture, and I'm featuring products from the Canvas Corp Brands Company, and they have different lines of products. In this project number 1, first I'm using a Kleenex box that has that particular shape, and I'm stuffing it with newsprint. And in this project 1, I'm using products from the Canvas Corp Company, Canvas Corp Brands Company, and I'll link this information all down below. I'm using some of their paper, this nice paper pad from their 7 Gypsies line. And it's 2-sided pad of paper, 48 pages, and it's the Maritime theme, and it's very nice, very vintage. It's good quality, nice thickness to the paper, not too thick, not too thin. So there I'm checking out the waves, because I'm going to definitely use that in my project number 1. But all of these pages are double-sided and have the Maritime theme. So I'm going to be covering this Kleenex box, repurposing the Kleenex box. It's not going to stay being a Kleenex box. It's all empty. The Kleenex has been taken out. And I'll be covering it all with this particular design, which are waves. And I'm not going to go through a whole tutorial on how to cover this box, but I do have this one tip that do not have edges that are butted next to each other on the corners. That doesn't work so well. It's better if you overlap by 1/4 inch, and I show that as a close-up. And I'm just using a glue stick. It works pretty well. Right there, that I have overlapped the edge by 1/4 inch. The corners are all overlapped by 1/4 inch, and that's much better than having raw edges butted up next to each other. So these papers definitely gave me the idea for this project. Right there you can see how the 1/4 inch, it's close up, the 1/4 inch folded overlapped the corners. That's the one main tip I have for that. So also from their Tattered Angels line is all kinds of Glimmer Mists, and that's their starter kit with the primary colors plus green. And now I've digitally manipulated this photo because I wanted it to be, the top half be Venus de Milo and the bottom half be a mermaid, and also coming out of the clamshell, that's also Venus de Milo, the clamshell. And because I wanted to make it artsy, very artsy, since I'm using the Paris art tissue background with the Eiffel Tower in the background, so I wanted it to be very artsy. So I digitally manipulated it on my computer to size the bottom of the mermaid to fit the Venus de Milo on top. And then I sprayed and this is an inkjet print. And the way that I can use water-soluble paints on this is all you do is spray it with fixative. I don't think not workable fixative, just regular fixative spray. And that's their gold. And you don't shake it up and down, you twirl it. That's the best way to shake these, is just twirling them, not shaking up and down. And that's one of their, that's not from their starter kit. That's tropical pink, and I'm trying to make a skin color right now. And yes, it would never work for me to spray this onto the mermaid, so I'm spraying them onto paper plates because I'm going to use them as paint with my paintbrush, so I can get the Glimmer Mists exactly where I want them to go. So I'm using this particular method in this project. I also use the Glimmer Mists in some of my projects 2 and 3, and this project's the only one that I actually use the Glimmer Mists on the paper plate. So I was mixing gold with tropical pink, and those two are not in the starter kit. They are individual colors. So I'm still trying to get the right skin tone. I heard about the Canvas Corp Brands, the Canvas Corp Brand Company from a friend, and was very interested in trying out their products. So that's why I'm focusing mostly on their products in this video. So that one is not just straight blue, not primary blue from the starter kit either. That is a special one. I'd have to link it down below. There's the regular primary green from the starter kit, but that blue is a I forget the name of it, but I could link it down below. So now I'm trying to mix the colors for the mermaid. And there it is, finished. So the next step for this project involved some experimentation. I sprayed 2 different shades of their Glimmer Mist in 2 shades of blue on watercolor paper, and you can really see the shimmer and the glimmer there. Really, really nice. So that shade of blue is called Jackfrost. So I had used Jackfrost, and the other shade of blue I had used was their primary blue, which is just called, I think it's called It's Blue, and it's in their starter kit. And now I'm experimenting with spraying it through these doilies because I'm trying to figure out ideas for making flowers for the background of this project. So I end up with a blue doily that I definitely am saving that for the future, for future mixed media projects. Now in this step, these are coffee filters. And I wasn't sure if I was going to use these coffee filters as flowers or whether they could be waves, like the mermaid coming out of the waves of the ocean. And after I did the lacy doils, I realized those were going to be the flowers. And the way I use these tissues. I sprayed the Glimmer Mist straight on the coffee filters and dried them. There you see I've cut now flowers I'm going to use for the background. There I've twisted, those are two finished ones that I've twisted the coffee filters. So that one is dry now after I'd sprayed it with a Glimmer Mist, a shade of blue of the, I forget if that was the jackfrost shade. And then you just twist it at the bottom. You put your finger in the center of it and then twist it at the bottom. And I realized those work really well for the ocean waves. So I just trace some more flowers. I need different sizes, small, medium, and large. Mainly I think I just use small and large. This is some of their art tissue, collage art tissue, and it's from their 7 Gypsies line, and the name of it is Paris. So everything printed on there has to do with Paris. And there I covered a paper plate. So there you see the back. I overlapped it, covered just a paper plate, and gluing on the flowers just around one edge. And then I realized the doily acts as a good balancing feature right there. It balances the design. And a line drawing picture of the Eiffel Tower. So there you see she's coming out of the tissue. Oh, those are coffee filters. Coffee filter waves, which I think works really well. And there's the background of Paris. And I'm really happy how this came out. I think it's really, really cool. And there, you can see some of the shimmer and glimmer on those flowers. Project number 2 is a stained wood wall hanging. And I'm using wood kindling, which I have at home. So it gave me the idea for this project. I've already started arranging them, and I really thought it would be really cool to try spraying on the Glimmer Mists on the wood. So here you see the bucket of wood kindling that we have at our house. And that is Tropical Pink Glimmer Mist. So and that is that shade of blue is called Jackfrost. There you can see that is just their primary green from their starter kit. That came out nice. There is primary red from the starter kit also. That comes out really nice. There I was trying to make my own violet. It came out pretty dark. Dark violet. Almost looks brown. And this is, I'm using their primary yellow. Also from the starter kit. Or no, that might be gold. I think I used gold there. Came out nice. So now I'm trying it a different way of spraying it on, putting, instead of just one by one or two side by side, I have it in the arrangement that's going to be at the bottom of the wall hanging, and spraying them from going from yellow to violet. So yellow, or I used gold at the bottom. There I'm spraying red and getting an orange, so this kind of like a rainbow effect all the way up to violet. So here I am arranging them after they've dried and using leather cord, and I'm using a hot glue gun. So that part's all connected together. It came out good. The one thing that's really cool about using these Glimmer Mists on wood is it's almost like a stain for the wood. So it's not like you paint over the wood and you don't see the wood grain anymore. Since it's so sheer, it's just like it acts like a wood stain. And it doesn't show on camera, the glimmer, but if you can see it in the light. If you look at certain angles in the light, there still is the glimmer. There's still some glimmer that's on the wood. So those are wooden beads. I tie on the beads to keep them in place, otherwise they would fall loosely around the string and not stay in place. So now here's some close-up shots. So now you can see there how the red looks really nice into the purple, the green, and the red, and the colors show up a very nice woodsy tone to this. Really nice, really nice woodsy tones. Project number 3 is a nautical mixed media on canvas, and I use a 9x12 canvas board. Now here I'm using the paper pack, which is 40. It's a book of different kinds of pattern papers by the 7 Gypsies line, and with the theme is Maritime theme. They're double-sided. I explained this in Project 1, but it's good quality. And there I'm using matte medium for the adhesive. But they're good quality papers. That they're not too thin, they're not too thick. That's corrugated cardboard that I'm going to be covering, and I've covered some small pieces already. There you see it's a 9x12 inch canvas board that I've already covered with 4 different of the paper styles. And now, just to give some 3D dimensional relief to this canvas, I'm covering. There I am using the matte medium. I'm covering corrugated cardboard and different styles of the paper. using tacky glue to glue those down. But that is an interesting image. It was cut out from one of those papers from the Maritime themed papers. I'm really happy how it's looking and how it's coming along. There I have masked out areas that I do not want overspray on, and I used index card and painter's tape. And there I'm using the shade of blue called Jackfrost. And then I use the water bottle to help with the drippage. Okay, I take the mask off, and I'm really happy with how that drippage came along, really nice. Now I'm using Derwent inktense watercolor colored pencils, and I'm using a dark blue to go around the little cardboard panels. It helps pop them out in the design. First you color with them dry, and then you'll see with just with water, it activates it. There I am with the water on my paintbrush. And it turns the colored pencil into paint. There are the Tattered Angels line stencils, and they call them Glimmer Screens. And that one is that collection. This collection is 9 pieces starter kit, and you get 9 different stencils in that starter kit. And the other one is called Seaside on the Beach, and there you get 3 pieces, 3 stencils. And I'm going to use texture paste. There's the choice of stencil I'm using. I find them very like waves, decorative waves. So going to put with a palette knife texture paste through the stencil. That came out pretty good. And I'm going to do the texture paste through the stencil in 2 more places. So I'll have a total of 3 areas there. And the texture paste dries pretty fast with a heat gun. Okay, there I cut out pictures, printed they're inkjet prints from my computer. The fish, 2 seahorses, and a starfish. Using matte medium again for the adhesive. As I was saying, the texture paste dries pretty fast just using your heat tool. There, okay, there's a picture of the Derwent inktense watercolor colored pencils, and now I'm going around each of these images, each seahorse, the fish, and the starfish, and then using the wet paintbrush to activate it. Gives it a watercolor effect all around it, like a shaded effect all around the images. Makes them pop out in the design too. And that shade is called patina, and on the label is accurate, very accurate of what the color really is. So it looks dark in the bottle, but really is a light green, or you maybe say greenish blue, aqua maybe. And the texture paste is dry by now, and now I'm spraying it with this color called the shimmer spray, or the glimmer spray called Patina. And I do it several times. I let layers, I use my heat gun to dry, not my heat gun, but I use it's a hair blow dryer on the hot setting to dry, and I use several layers to get a little bit more intense of the green so it isn't too light. And now here's some close-up shots of the finished piece. I'm really happy with it. So that was several layers of the patina drying in between each layer. Oh, that starfish really pops out. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, or subscribe, and check out some of my last videos. That one happened to be an eyeshadow drawing. We had to use a $5 item, and I used eyeshadow for drawing in my image.